power. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen, nor sitteth in the seat that is can't fall. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law I say, I did it sunrise and sundown. Him I go dear like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in his season. Him live never I go wither, and whatsoever him jewel shall prosper. Yea! The heathen them now they saw them there like a chaff, which the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go thank upon the judgment of the sin among them in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord God Jah loveth the way of the righteous, and the way of the sin among them always and always. I go perish. Let the people of the Most High God say, Jah! Karamawe grumabe la A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Arrahmanir rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghairil maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amen. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Jah shall therein abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Where two and three meet in the name of the Most High Jah, and there so Jaja there. If Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman I go watch it in vain. Same way. If Jaja never build up your house, the builder I go build it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is saved. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aw mawuso bolisa. Aw mawuso bolisa. Adanu wato. Ewo asikle afo. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. This is the pot, not just any pot, but the pot that is black, the black pot, and my name. Black Rasta. Now in every traditional African home there is this black pot. And each time you see that black pot, you know that that is a symbol of nourishment. Because every time it sits on the fire, there are so many ingredients of different sizes, shapes, and even colors, aromas, and smells that put aside all these differences and reaccommodate themselves into the black pot. Now, this very interesting black pot accommodates all these wonderful ingredients. And there's no complaint. Everything goes on good. The food that is prepared does not benefit the ingredients. Neither does it benefit the black pot. It rather benefits us in the same vein. That black pot represents the continent of Africa, and the ingredients in the black pot represent us as a people. We must put aside all our differences. It doesn't matter the skin shade, yes, the color or the shade of our skin. What matters most as African people, as black people, is the fact that we need to look at the next generation. Come together, put aside all those differences, and push the agenda of development for the next generation. We have to move away from planting tomatoes, onions, and pepper, the one season crop, and look at planting trees. We must be a tree planting generation, and I'm speaking in parables. We are so selfish. We want to plant it, and right after the season, we reap and we eat and die and go, and we are forgotten. We don't plant trees because we know that we will not live enough to sit under the shade of these trees. We don't care who sits under the shades of these trees. So because of that, we never want to plant them. But our ancestors planted these trees. Today when we sit under their shade, we remember them. We must be a tree planting generation, the Joshua generation. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power, and we are live on Pan-African TV, also live on Loud Silence TV, live on Ghana Web TV, and live on Black Empire TV. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. We love to do business with you. The more we do business with you, the more you prosper, the more we prosper as well, so we can continue doing our thing. I've been asked time and again, Blakk Rasta, if you ever become president of this great nation, what would you do differently? I will rewire the minds of our people. It's all about the mindset. If the mindset is right, every other thing will be all right. It's not just a problem of schools and hospitals and roads. Is the problem of the mindset. If the mindset is right, people would take care of roads. They would even build roads, hospitals, and even schools. My brother, my sister, this is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Now, the very first story I want to look at today is rolling on your screen. And what does it say? Nana Addo's lip service to corruption fight. Now, the president of Ghana is known as Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. There he is. His father was a ceremonial president of this great country called Ghana. And he vowed to himself that he would also by hook or crook become president. In our last elections, so many people were gunned down. My brother, my sister, and he doesn't care about it. He has not even done any investigation into that. This is a young man. Yes, he's in the office of the prosecutor. He is the special prosecutor. My brother, my sister, he is angry. Why is he angry? Now I am picking intelligence around that they are trying to demean and look down on his fight against corruption. Now this man here is not the first special prosecutor we've had. The first one was Alamisi Hamidu, who came to throw about his weight and make a lot of noise. He was a Mr. Talkative who did nothing. Dr. Do Nothing, not Dr. Doolittle. My brother, my sister, when this little guy came in, he's called Kisie Jabing. Many were those who said if the elephant could not carry the weight, would it be this ant? This ant has come in and has done a lot of work, and people are gravitating towards him. But the wicked, dirty presidency that we have will not support this man. And this is the head of the thing. He's more interested in raising money to build his dirty demonic cathedral than to fight against corruption, which makes money run out of our coffers like water in the ocean. Look at the headlines. Special prosecutor allegedly rejects insufficient 20,000 Ghana cedis salary. And that's a report. Come! Watch it. Watch it. It says what? Special prosecutor Kisie Jabin allegedly rejected a 20,000 Ghana cedis salary government wanted to pay as a salary because the amount was too small. A report by the mynewsgh.com portal states that Jabin is therefore demanding a personal salary and a series of allowances more befitting of his status, until which time he is refusing to take what was offered him by government. This development comes months after it emerged that staff of the office of the special prosecutor have not been paid salaries for months. The report claimed, citing unnamed government sources, that the issue of delayed payment of staff was born out of the fact that the OSP undertook recruitments illegally without recourse to lay down procedures. In some cases, the special prosecutor allegedly ported staff from his private law firm, Cromwell Gray LLC, without recourse to due process and the appropriate approvals. The special prosecutor then placed this staff at promotional and salary grades suitable to his discretion. The government has since demanded the anomalies be rectified, while the OSP has been told he would only be paid salaries approved by the Public Service Commission and not what befits his status. Government believes these unilateral appointments of permanent staff to the office of the special prosecutor, contrary, without approval from the board, the Public Service Commission, and without transparency and competitiveness, runs contrary to Section 21 of the Act 959 and Article 195 of the 1992 Constitution. special prosecutor attacks government. How did it happen? The special prosecutor has been on an offensive against government. First, allegedly leaking the non-payment of his salaries and gratuities. Gratuities to the press. And second, criticizing the government's fight against corruption. The special prosecutor Kisei Jabin said the government of President Dankwa Akufo-Addo is not serious in the fight against corruption. The special prosecutor questioned the commitment of the government in the fight against corruption whilst he spoke on the third edition, when he spoke on the third edition of the Joy Change Speakers series on News File on Joy News, monitored by mynewsgh.com 2 days ago. On the part of government, is the government ready for the fight against corruption? Dash it away. My brother, my sister, come. Hear me now. Listen. This government is a dirty government. This government is not a wise government. The IMF, the boss of the IMF today, one Catalina or Kristalina, whatever the name is, with all respect, told the whole world that this year is going to be a very, very terrible year. There is no way Europe is not going to fall into recession. We all are looking up to the IMF to bail us out of the dark hole we have found ourselves in economically. The president was first to come with New Year's message. Oh, everything is going to be okay. We will be okay. You'll be okay. Yet, the IMF that you are looking up to help you get out and be okay is saying that recession is imminent in about a third of the whole globe. Yet Mr. President says we'll be okay. The man you are looking up to help you himself is drowning. If this was a wise president, you know what he will do? We will be looking towards farms. We'll be looking towards productivity. But no, the one district, one factory thing is nothing but tokenism, symbolism. Interestingly, my brother, my sister, hear me now. I'm very angry. So when I speak out of anger. This country belongs to you. It belongs to me. It belongs to our unborn children. So we must guard it jealously. Because today I find food to eat. I shouldn't care what my brother is eating. Is that the nation we want to build? Farmers are so disrespected. And therefore, the whole country is in crisis. We import everything, including onions and pepper. President says, we will be okay. The people they are looking up to make us okay, themselves are saying that nobody is going to be okay globally. A third would suffer. Europe would go down, according to Moody's. Why am I bringing this story? Mr. President has been able to find 100,000 Ghana cedis to give out for his dirty cathedral to be built. Yet he has no money for the office that will fight corruption. That takes away over 60% of all the income we have in this country from the government sector and even beyond. Corruption is responsible for the mass hemorrhage, the geometric hemorrhage of funds from our coffers. Yet they don't see it as a problem. This dirty-minded president is looking for money to build this dirty demonic cathedral, not money to fight corruption. But that said, let's get deeper into this. Now look at the communique government released from what we read. Government says, Office of the Special Prosecutor, you have employed people without recourse to the right procedures. Did the OSP do it or not? I know for sure that at the time there was only one investigator. That was in the Office of the Special Prosecutor to do all the nation's investigations. Is it possible? Or it's a lip service to corruption fight? I remember there was a time Kisi Ejabing and another customs, or is it audit man, came into a certain big tango And this pot-bellied man said, small boy, what can you do? The public cried and bemoaned this useless talk, and the president removed him from the place. You see, we talk about issues. We are not interested in the names. It's not about personalities. I remember the incident. Now today, president cannot find money, but he says that you have employed people without recourse to the laid down procedures. Is it true or false? If it's true, then you yourself, you are corrupt. When you go to equity, you lawyers, that's what you say. You must go with what? Clean hands. How can you go to equity with bloody hands? You are supposed to fight corruption, yet you are employing people from your own law firm. Are you okay? Is it true? Is it false? Again, what do you mean you want a salary that befits your what? You see, because of utterances like this, we will all go down. Are you better than the teacher? Are you better than the farmer? Are you better than the Ghanaian civil servant? Go back to your law firm. Look at this talk. You want a salary that befits your status as a public office holder. We have laid down rules as to how much the public servant must be paid. Because you wear a suit and because you are there to fight corruption, so they must pay you a salary that befits you. 20,000 Ghana cedis is not good for you. I'm so disappointed. So none of you guys is ready to sacrifice to see this country grow better. 20,000 Ghana cedis is not good for you. How much is good for you? All the people you employed from your office to the place, you gave them arbitral salaries. Do you know what that means? Oh, you come, work here. I'll give you a salary of this without recourse to lay down procedures. According to the communique, I don't support you this time around. The country is hemorrhaging. We need men and women to sacrifice and let this country. That's why this dirty president must go. He's a dirty president because he's not ready to put his shoulders to the wheel and sacrifice. He's ready, my brother, my sister, to inflame his alter ego. He's blazing it hot. He wants to build a dirty cathedral. Come! Christian Jabing, I am truly disappointed. If this is true, how much salary do you want? Now, the civil service is not a place for you to make the money that befits your status. You are fighting corruption. Fight that corruption. Are you ready to leave a legacy that is stronger than just wealth? These are the people we need in this time. If I was president, all the people who would work under me, ministers of state, they will take allowances, no salaries. It's going to be a sacrificial job. It's not a looting mine. It's not a loot mine where everybody gets in there. It's like an elephant standing. Wherever you catch, you cut and take it away. Kisejabing, I'm really disappointed. If this is true, how much salary do you want? Before you took over that office, did you discuss this? Are you now blackmailing, or better still whitemailing the country? Because you have achieved one or two brilliances here and there. Right now, you want a salary that befits your status. Right now, the nation can go to hell. Hallelujah. The least said about this, the better. You are not better than any civil servant in this country. The laws must apply. If you see yourself bigger than that salary, out! What are you waiting for? For God's sake, we like what you are doing. But if this is the kind of lingua franca you want to exert and implore, it's unto you. To God be the glory. Come on, and give me the next thing. What's the next thing we're looking at? Watch it. It's rolling. Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH in the chief imam's bedroom. Hallelujah. It looks like a beautiful romance. I like to see Muslims and Christians come together. Jews and Christians come together. Buddhists and Krishna people come together. This is a very beautiful photograph. I've never seen a chief imam like this chief imam. I have a lot of respect for him. When OWUSU BEMPAH, Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH, prophesied years back, without courtesy to the office of this man, that he was going to die, we saw Nima people and some other Muslims from different areas, especially from our Zongos, attack the church. I remember OWUSU BEMPAH, Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH at that time came out and said that it was the NDC that orchestrated the attack and that it was not Muslims. Well, we know all that. Diplomacy. You know the man attacking you. Yet we say, I know that it is not you attacking me. It is this other person attacking me. It is all a way of playing diplomacy. Hear me now. He said the chief imam was going to die. The chief imam never died. What the chief imam said was simple. Sheikh Alhaji Nu Sharubutu. I love him. Listen. Now this powerful man told the whole Ghana that, listen, we are Muslims. We are truly not scared of death. That's why when a Muslim dies, the first thing a Muslim does when he hears that his fellow Muslim has died is to say, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhim raji'un. To God we came from, and to God we shall all return. Subhanallah. That's what every Muslim says. Muslims are permitted to cry. They are permitted to mourn the dead. But they are not permitted to do it like non-Muslims, wailing, beating drums and making noise. Even the Prophet of Islam cried when his own child died. So Muslims are not scared of death. Chief Imam said, this is we. Are we that? We are in them things. And he went ahead to say, if you have the spirits whispering into your ears what would happen, be careful how you communicate it. I applauded him. He understands what it is to say prophecy. He says, when the spirits whisper into your ears what would happen, be careful how you communicate it. Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH deemed it fit. He went all the way to the chief imam, presented him with a cow and whatever. They sat down and talked. As to what happened behind the door, we were never aware of till today. Come! Watch it. Chief imam, other leaders visit us to look into their destinies. And this is Isaac OWUSU BEMPAH, the Reverend, talking. I read, Reverend Isaac OWUSU BEMPAH of the Glorious Word Power Ministries International has reiterated his call for people to desist from saying what they do not know about the work of the men of God. He disclosed that some leaders in the country routinely consult people like him with respect to their destinies. He cited the case of the chief imam and his encounter with the Muslim leader back in 2019, months after he had prophesied that Sheikh Osman Nu Sharubutu was going to die in a New Year prophecy session in 2018. 4 years on, OWUSU BEMPAH cited the chief imam during the 2022 Watch Night service his church held. Whatever I see today, I will proclaim. People refer to my prophecy about the chief imam, that I prophesied about him and he's still alive. Do you know what went on between the chief imam and I? He should have ended there. He should have just ended there. But look, he went ahead. When I was in his bedroom, do you know what went on? Please, if you don't know, don't talk against it. Those saying such are kids. They don't know anything. Most leaders come to us to look into their destinies. He stressed. leading the congregation to the 31st December Watch Night service at the headquarters of the GWPMI, he emphasized that men of God did not prophesy except what God had revealed to them. In other words, men of God don't just get up and prophesy, but they prophesy what God has told them. BEMPAH's 2018 prophecy about the Imam's death triggered an attack on his church premises by some irate youth. But months on, he paid a visit to the chief imam, who accepted his apology and called for more interfaith cohesion in the country. Dash! You see, the chief imam that was said to be dying that year, had Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH come, accepted his apology, they sat down and talked. Today, OWUSU BEMPAH said he went into his bedroom. Now you can infer from this that because he visited him, he probably offered prayers and blah blah and directions, as they call that in Christendom. And today the chief imam is alive. My brother, my sister, if I were Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH, this would have been what I would say. Those who said I prophesied about the chief imam 4 years ago and is still alive. Listen, we are both spiritual people. I made a mistake by even coming public with his death. I should have gone to him. He's also a spiritual person. Together we can sit down and look at how we can alleviate that. When I later realized it, I went and apologized. And we sat down together as two spiritual people and looked at the way forward. Today, if he's alive, it's because understanding has come to play. And today, Christians and Muslims can hug each other and be happy because of the chief imam and Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH. This would have been saying the same thing, but more. Reverend Isaac OWUSU BEMPAH was my mate at Dampare Secondary School. He played football. He loved to pray. You can't take that from him. Midnight, you hear ba 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 in a Muslim school. I respect him. He's invested into his spirituality. My brother, my sister, but this is unwarrantedly uncalled for. There's no need for this. We all know that he prophesies, and most of the time these things will come to pass. But when you take credit for saving another man's life because you prayed for that person, you are almost becoming arrogant in the eyes of God. Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH, I know you watch this show a lot. Please, find a way. I don't know how you're going to do it. And some people are calling for the church to be attacked again. Some are saying the man must be beaten. Some are saying they have to close his mouth. Some are saying he's been disrespectful. Listen. I don't know how Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH is going to do this, but I know what the chief imam is going to do. The chief imam will talk and he will say that unity is the best. He's a friend of Reverend OWUSU BEMPAH. And they meet and look at how the two faiths can come together and do things together. So nobody should say anything against him. It's all good in the spirit of interfaith unity. That's how Chief Imam talks. Such a wise man. Chief Imam is over 100 years, right? He's here. Would you not be happy that you'll be 100 years and your faculties are still this sharp? Somebody's only 40 and he talks like a goat. And by goat, I mean meh, not greatest of all time. This is the Blakk Pod. Come! Where we speak truth to power, when we return. Kaya Jame. Hey! Where you
One skipper George.
Blackpot. Coco show man.
Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, man can never make it without the spiritual life. I believe in that. Man is physical and spiritual. You are a spirit, and at the same time you are physical. Try to feed the two, but feed the spiritual side more. Because life goes beyond just walking on earth. Not many would understand this. This is not a religious class, so I leave it. Come! Next thing. What does it say? Watch it. It's rolling. Mali roars at France. Côte d'Ivoire. Look at this. Mali jails Ivory Coast soldiers. Let me take you through a little background. Listen, Mali went through some military crisis. You know what happened? The president died. His son came in and took over, promising that they were going to have elections. France was invited in to come and help with the situation. Terrorism set in, people were being killed. One coup after the other, and boom, today Mali is where we are. Now France was chased out of Mali. All because the Malians felt that they brought in the French to help fight terrorism. But they ended up inflaming terrorism. And the French were chased out. But interestingly, this is the truth. Watch this. Russia was invited. In fact, Russia, at the time France was invited, demanded to come and train the Malian soldiers. In fact, in the Sahel region, there's only one country that has well-trained soldiers, and that is Chad. Mauritania, 0. Niger, 0. Mali, 0. They call them the G5 of the Sahel. Only Chad, capital in N'Djamena. They are those with trained soldiers. So Russia decided to go in there and train Malian soldiers. They agreed. Time after time, they brought in weapons and all that to help with the area before the French could realize the Russians had taken over the whole place. They invited in Wagner. We all remember Wagner, right? Wagner came in. It's supposed to be a PMC, private military company. They came in. Normally what Russia will say is that, oh, you know, they are just a private security company, so forget about it. We are not part of it. Then after the work is done, Russia says, yeah, we are part of them. Most of the time. So when they went into the area, they started doing their things, and France was ousted, and now Russia has become the friend of Mali. It's the same thing happening in Burkina Faso. They bent the France ambassador's house in 2 places in Burkina Faso. In fact, the French embassy, and chased the French out in both Burkina Faso and Mali. The Russians were able to find a way of demonizing the French with cartoons, with so many different things coming out, propaganda, and so on and so forth. Now the French is out. It's Russia that has taken over. But watch it. Russia, the Wagner, is in Burkina Faso. And they have been allowed to mine and carry the wealth to their country. They give some aid, small aid to the people. Imagine, you come and mine our gold, take it to your country, come back and give us something small. It's like you take our cow, and then you come and give us the legs of the cow, the hoofs, that you are giving us aid. My brother, my sister, it's a terrible situation. Africa has become a playground for wicked mercenaries. Hey! Mass graves in Mali. Terrorism is still on. they watch and follow me. Come. Come. Mali sentences Ivorian soldiers to 20 years in jail. A court in Mali's capital, Bamako, on Friday found 46 Ivorian soldiers guilty of undermining state security and sentenced them to 20 years each in prison. The verdict of the appeals court of Bamako was delivered after 2 days of a marathon hearing that began on Thursday, December 29. The soldiers were detained on July 10, 2022, after they had arrived at the Bamako airport at the height of a row within Mali's military junta and Western countries unhappy with the West African nation's ties with Russia. While the Cote d'Ivoire government said the troops were part of a UN mission, the Malians insisted they were mercenaries seeking to destabilize the country. Amongst the soldiers detained were women. How many of them? 3 women who were freed on humanitarian grounds but were later tried in absentia. Friday's verdict comes before the deadline for an ultimatum by the West African bloc ECOWAS for the soldiers to be released. The Economic Community of West African States leaders meeting in the Nigerian capital Abuja on December 4 had given Bamako up to January 1 to release the soldiers of face sanction. Dash. So these soldiers, were they truly from the UN or not? Now ECOWAS comes in to say, release those soldiers. It means ECOWAS has come to the understanding that the soldiers are actually legally in Mali. Why is Mali trying to alienate itself from the rest of Africa? Now Ivory Coast and Mali are at loggerheads because of these soldiers and even more. Those 44 soldiers or so, the 46 soldiers, tell me, did they come on the authority of the UN or they were there on their own as mercenaries? Right now, Mali seems to trust only the Russians. Burkina Faso only trusts Russia. Where is the world going? Russia is busily attacking Ukraine. We all are going down because of this. And Africa is gradually being overtaken by Russia. Remember, in all these fights, the Chinese are not involved. The Chinese are only here for business. But political interference, inside bickering, and so on and so forth. Where are we going? My brother, my sister, this is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. If we are not careful, Africa is going to be recolonized. And once Africa gets recolonized, we will be back into slavery. Every now and then when we hear about a coup, it's not in Europe, it's not in the Americas, it's most of the time in Africa. When we hear about people who have all the wealth, yet they do not know how to use the wealth, it's Africa. We have all the gold, all the diamond, by how to get the wealth out. No, we have to employ those same people who come in. Listen, the whole of the G5, Sahel, Mauritania, Niger, and all those countries, including Mali, all their GDP combined is less than Ghana's GDP. Come, I'll tell you more. Follow me. Now the GDP, gross domestic product of Ghana, is about 49 billion. All the 5 Sahelian countries combined, their GDP is less than 49 billion. Do we understand what we're talking about? They are impoverished countries. Very impoverished. Is it because they are in the Sahel? But Libya is also in the Sahel, right? In quotes, in the desert. Qatar, desert. Dubai, desert. But they are making it. How many times will these Arabs there employ America and all those other people from the West to come and mine their gold for them. They institute schools on their land. Even when they need entertainment. They know everybody is running after Arsenal. Everybody is running after Manchester United. Running after all the other teams that you like to hear about. You know all the names of the players and even what they eat from morning till the night. Yet your own country's national anthem, you don't know it. You know the coaches' names. Who they are married to. The names of their children. The village they were born in. And even what they eat from morning till night. Yet, your president's hometown, you don't know. My brother, my sister, you look at all these things. The Qataris have realized that, well, football is becoming the new opium of the people. They instituted football schools and camps and so on and so forth to train new players. You know what they did next? If you are a player and you are even in Pesingpe or my village somewhere in, what's the name of my Dolin Bison? Or Durigaga or Zabrigaga. And you can play good football. Come, we'll give you citizenship. So your name changes from Kwame Mensah to Abdurrahim Abubakar. Muafuz Yahunaz. Gurdanzu Ibn Hazar. Names that you have to eat dates, 100 dates, and drink camel milk before you can pronounce. These are your names. But your own local names, Chelpang, and all those wonderful names, no, they bring them to Qatar, train them, and then they even bring people like Cristiano Ronaldo, pay them to come and entertain them. Yet you are there, busily killing each other, terrorism, and claiming that you are in the desert where there's nothing. Who created us? Who created us? They said on the seventh day God rested. But before he rested, he created man. And realized that man was lonely and created a woman to join. After that, when he was resting and didn't want to create anybody at all, Satan sneaked in and created us. Because I can't understand. Our leaders come in with all the energy and the power. Yet, they let us down. To God be the glory. When we return, we have many more things to look at. Hey! Wayo!
PATRIOT.
Blackpot. Coco show, man.
We don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. Rewiring the thinking of our people. The biggest problem with Africa is the problem of the mindset. When Chinese children are on TikTok competing about engineering and science, who is fastest to dismantle a whole aeroplane engine and fix it back? We are here taking injections to grow our big buttocks, taking injections to grow our big breast, and challenging each other with dances. Lewd dances. We are here busily trying to seduce our friends' fathers. What is wrong with us? God be the glory. Next thing, what does it say? Rolling on your screens. Come! Metal fish in Ghana's River TANO. Oh, Jesus. River TANO. Remember in school when we were taught that beautiful song? I don't know which school you went to. I went to Kwashe School. Kwashe. School of Kwashe. School of Kwashe. We were taught the rivers of Ghana. Rivers of Ghana, River Biatano, Uncle Brian, River Pra, Densu Ayensu Volta. This is River TANO. Some people worship it. They say there's a God in it called TANO. That's all right. That's their belief. We don't fight people's beliefs as long as they don't trample on our beliefs. Hey! Some time ago, we had metal rice. Metal! In fact, plastic rice. Today, we have metal fish. Hey! Jesus have mercy. Come, let's look at this well. Father and mother. That is mother on the left, father on the right. The child is in the middle. And when you look at it, you see heavy metals in the fish. Transfer of HMs from fish to humans. Now they take the metal, you go and eat them, then you start having erectile dysfunction and much more. Look at the chart. Nickel. It gives you what? Chronic bronchitis. Decreased lung function. And gives you lung cancer. Heavy metals. That's what they do. And when you look at them, look at lead. Liver damage. Neurological, hematological disorders. Kidney failures. My brother, my sister. Calcium, mercury, attack on the kidney and liver. It gives you hypertension. It also injures a lot of reproductive functions. Hey, these are the metals, the heavy metals. When they are in the fish and you eat that, or you ingest any of these are the things you get. This is somebody's thesis. Accepted thesis. Written by A.J. Nyantechi, S. Wiafi, and Bernard Fay Bafo. Heavy metal concentrations in fish from River TANO in Ghana and the health risk posed to consumers. And when you read it, this is the abstract of the thesis. Appreciable levels of trace metals have been reported in the TANO basin, but data on the corresponding levels in fish and the risk they pose to consumers are limited. The levels of 7 trace metals in 18 fish mussels were assessed between November 2016 and October 2017. Now it's even worse because galamsey has become the order of the day. So this was 2016, 2017. Using acid digestion and pecking Elmer. That's Pinnacle 900T. Atomic absorption. Spectrophotometry. Spectrophotometry. My team is excited at the way I'm pronouncing this. I went to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the best university in the whole world. So spectrophotometry cannot disgrace me. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Apart from copper, that's Cu, all the metals studied were detected in all fish samples. The levels of chromium, silver, and Hg were higher than the acceptable levels of fish mussels. Cr concentration range from 16 blah blah boom 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 dash. Are you eating metals or you are eating fish? Are you a blacksmith? My brother, I'm going to say something that you will not agree with me about. But come, I will still say, come. Can you be a vegetarian? In these times, can you be a vegetarian? I'm a vegetarian, in fact, vegan. But even with the plants, we are not too safe. But it's better. You see how you have endangered your lives, disrespected the habitats of the animals. How can you say River Tano has Tano in it, yet you throw all your debt inside that place? Your gods like to live in stinking rivers. Do you respect your gods at all? I go to the Ghana areas in Accra and I'm shocked. They tell you that the lagoons have gods in them. Don't you ever take your visitor or stranger to Lavender Hill. Your nose will be uprooted. The smell is like Satan himself has gone to toilet. Yet gods live there. And you see Wulome, Kamanche, they will all walk barefooted there. Yao, yao. They are all there shouting in that dirty river. The dirty stinking lagoon. Your gods live there. Are you okay? The seaside. You go to the seaside. That, oh, there are gods even in the sea. And they all go there barefooted. They are happy to worship the gods in there. And interestingly, before you reach the banks of the river or the sea, you will step on different kinds and colors of human excreta. My brother, my sister, we disrespect ourselves to the point of disrespecting our gods. We have fed our gods with too much appetite, made in the white man's kitchen, so our gods have become crazy. They can't think far. They can't think madness. Jesus is Lord. Dash and bring me the next thing. The dangerous Psalms of Dampare. This is Dampare. Dr. Akufu Dampare. He's the IGP of this beautiful country called Ghana. But let me run you through his biography. Dampare. When was he born? Where is he from? How did he get into his seat? I'm running you through his biography. George Akufu Dampare is a Ghanaian, chartered accountant and police officer. He was appointed as the acting Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service by President Nana Akufo-Addo on the 21st day of July 2021, effective 1st August 2021, taking over from James Opon Buano, who had been serving since October 2019. So it's not been updated. He's now the IGP. Dampare joined the Ghana Police Service in December 1990 at the age of 20 as a police constable, in which he was adjudged the overall best recruit at the National Police Training School, winning all awards except the award for the best marksman. Marks is shooting. Prior to being appointed as IGP, Dampare served in different command and staff positions, including aide-de-camp to the Vice President, Director General Finance, Director General Welfare, Director General ICT, Commandant of the Police Command and Staff College, Accra Regional Police Commander and Director General of Operations. On October 8, 2021, he was sworn in as the Substantive Inspector General of Police, IGP of the Ghana Police Service. That's the man we're talking about. Very beautiful accolades and achievements. But he's a disappointment. He's a disappointment. He has failed to rebrand Ghana Police. The image of the police is even worse than he met it. Ghana police needs rebranding. We don't have to see Ghana police and it's all about bribery. No, sir. We must spend time and energy to rebrand it and change the mindset of the Ghana police. That's the IGP we want. He has now become a preacher, and I want us to look at this. Nobody born of a man or woman can alter your destiny. Come here. This is Dampare, Reverend Dampare speaking. Inspector General of Police, Reverend George Akufu Dampare, shared his views of the gospel as related to destiny while on operational duties during the 2022 31st night into the new year 2023. The police chief stated that all of man's actions on earth are already written by God, and that any occurrence in one's life was part of plans towards the fulfillment of their destiny. I want to assure you that individually, be convinced in your hearts and in your minds that nobody born of a man or a woman can alter your destiny. When that happens, then there's no God. Dash. I would suggest that you stay with your day job, because this is not true. This kind of preaching makes people lazy. So if God has written already that I'll be what? There's no need to work. I'll stay at home. God has written already. Se me bodam for anyame atro dada. Enti se me ko school akwa university sa na ma bodama endie. Min ko university sa embe bodam. Majai. Se nyame so abo mi se meye sikania. O sikani bele min ye djuma. Meda, after all, God has written it. This kind of preaching is whack preaching. Hey, listen. Both Quran and Bible talk about free will. God has created man, but he has given you your free will. And the way God works is this. Yes, he knows what you would become, but he's giving you the opportunity in the spirit of fairness to alter what is bad and make it good, and what is good to bad depending on what you want. That is why when you read the stories of people like Jabez in the Bible, when his mother gave birth to him, she went through pain and anguish. So she named the child after some pain. Jabez, pain. But he changed his name and worked towards dealing with his destiny. He didn't fold his arms to sleep and say, God has written my destiny already, so I just have to be like that. No. The way God works, he gives you the opportunity to go through it. You must be able to hold your own destiny in your hands. That's why God himself says in the Bible, he's a Christian, so I talk Bible, that the hand that does not work must not eat. And I've finished. Sit down and say that God says, today that you will eat, so you won't go and work. God says that if you don't work, you must not eat. Why? Didn't God know that you eat or you not eat? He says if you don't work, everybody must work at their destiny. Do not give birth to your children, lock them up in the room and say, whatever their destiny is will unfold. Whatever will be must be, so you won't take them to school. They will shoot you and kill you when they are growing up. Don't do this kind of preaching. This is the so-called foolish prosperity preaching that preachers are preaching all over the place now. Sleep all your life. Just use anointing water on your face and you will be okay. You will make money. You will build a house that you didn't buy. You will travel abroad and make it in life. You will marry a white woman. That's what they say. And when you go to the church, they are all, everything the preacher man says, they are, I receive it. You build a house that you did not spend money on, I receive it. You marry a white woman, I receive it. Let's use common sense. With all respect, Dampare, please, God knows our destiny, But he still puts our destiny in our hands. And the way God works, we can even change our destiny. When we go to God and pray to God and tell God, God, it's been so difficult for me, I'm not able to make it. I don't know what my destiny is, but give me a good destiny. Remember when God told his prophet to tell a certain man, King Hezekiah, that you shall die. The Bible said he turned his back onto the wall and said, Hey, Baba, hey, Baba, hey, Baba. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, my father, oh God, my father. I beg you, please don't kill me. The Bible said he was added 15 more years, correct? Students of the Bible. So what is God saying? You must make the effort and God will loosen your destiny for you. Don't say God has no man. Are you speaking the truth? Men can lead us to God. Men can change our destiny. Ha! Come and give me $10 million right now and see. My destiny will be changed. Yes, on a more positive note, a man can train you, and the kind of training he gives you changes your whole destiny. God will not come down and change you. It's men he would use. Don't preach like that, please. Come on. I'm going. I appreciate you. I love you. It's been the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushunumu. Share your views. What do you think about destiny? God has written that you'll be a fool. So there's no need to look for wisdom. You'll be a fool. Is God being just? What is the purpose of the free will? How does it work with our destiny? It's a whole topic. What do you think? What does your religion or spirituality teach you? When we return, and that will be tomorrow, we shall talk more. God bless Ghana. God bless Africa. Hey! Wayo!